guys, welcome back. My name is Holly, aka Scorn the Barber, and this is my friend Ashleigh, aka tell them your Instagram name.
Oh, my new one because I just changed it.
Yeah, you changed it on me.
I know. The modern barber _777.
Yes. So I don't know if you guys remember, if you've been watching all my videos. You should be watching all my videos. If you're not, do it. Anyways, Ashleigh, I interviewed her, one of the first, I think it was like my second interview I've ever done. Yeah, I did with Ashleigh, which she killed it. She was awesome. If you haven't seen that, please go back and watch that before you watch this one. So pause now if you haven't seen it and go watch that one. Then come back so you know a little bit about Ashleigh. So Ashleigh and I worked together, just a brief overview. Me and Ashleigh worked together at a shop previously before we opened our own shops. And lately, we've been talking almost like daily about things that are bothering us in the salon, barber culture, and what we want to change about it. And we are both very into educating the younger generation that's coming into the barber stylist world and protecting them so they don't go through the things that we had to go through the hard way. And one thing, which is so crazy, is because I was actually supposed to interview someone else today, and, they had to reschedule, life happens. And I messaged Ashleigh, and I was like, hey, you want to talk about that thing you wanted to talk about? And she's like, actually, I have something that I really want to, talk about. So when I called her, she wanted to talk about mostly getting into when you're a new stylist and getting into figuring out where you want to work or where you want to start your career and being told false things. And so we want to kind of give you guidance on what the truth is in this industry and kind of help guide you and what red flags to look for so you're not blindsided like we were. Yeah. So Ashleigh, kind of give them a little overview and kind of start it off.
So I just really want to help get some education info out there for students who are just, the hair world is just so, one, it's confusing and everyone's in your ear. There's all this noise all the time. Everyone thinks they know what they're talking about. And it's really hard to find research, at least I don't know recently, but whenever I was getting out of school, I felt like the research was so all the info was so slim to none pretty much. And school didn't talk about it. Other people didn't really talk about it. I had to learn the hard way, and that was rough. And so I think that just starting from square one for students, which is when you get out, what kind of work or career do you want to go to? Do you want to go to a booth rental? Do you want to go to a commission, or do you want to go to hourly? Because those are really your only three options. And so I feel just giving them a little insight on those three, I think would just make such a difference, because like you were saying, the industry is going solo and all the suites, but that's only good if you have a built clientele, your marketing is on point, your you have help and you have people supporting you, because that's a huge leap. That's a big step to go out on your own and do everything yourself.
And what got us on this topic, and we actually talked this, I always call Ashleigh when I'm on the stair step or at the gym, because I think my ADHD kicks in and I'm like, motherfucker, I've got to call her. This is not right. And so we get on these rants and we'll end up talking for an hour or so about how we feel about situations. But previously, this past Monday, I taught at a school, and I kind of got close with a few of the students, and they've reached out to me, and they were telling me that their school was telling them and taking them to solo suites and there's another
oh my God,
another one that's solo that's called Phoenix, and was taking them there, and they're like, this is really cheap weekly booth rent.
It's not cheap. First of all, it's not even cheap. Second of all, if you don't have clients, where is your booth? Like, where is that rent gonna come from?
And what's so funny is, like, one of those, the Phoenix Week, it even has a lock on the door. So, like, when you go, because I've done interviews there with people that have a clientele and are doing well there, then that's fine. But, like, when you go to do the interview, I would go pull in the door, and it's locked. You have to press in a code to get someone to come open the door at the Phoenix Suites.
Okay.
They don't just open and you can walk in. So I'm going to go up. Let's say I need a haircut. Oh, the Phoenix Suite. So I walk up. I try to pull in the door. I'm done then because I feel like I've done something wrong and I'm not supposed to be there.
Yeah. Like, they probably just assume it's appointment only.
Well, this school is a nonprofit school, and I think that they've made a deal, because with a nonprofit, what makes you, like, a nonprofit good and what helps you get a lot of money and get funding is you're a nonprofit and people can send you money and it can be a write-off for taxes. And it really helps and it looks good. And so I think Sola and Phoenix Suites, and I don't know facts, but I think they're giving the money, and, like, this is like a relationship type thing, because what doesn't make sense is that, like, they have real working stylists that are instructors. Why would a real working stylist send a kid out of school, and I say kid, but a young stylist out of school to that failure? Because then you're locked in a lease, and Sola don't play.
Yeah, no.
They will literally take you to court.
They don't give a shit if you don't have it.
They will literally take you to court, and you're setting these kids up for failure. Will they be able to be there in the future? Sure.
Absolutely. But like, starting out, there's no guidance. They're literally saying, you know what, go out there and figure it out. And, like, okay, yeah, sure, you're gonna figure it out, but why would you? That's not setting a student up for success. That's not being like, here's a path that's gonna bring you to more clients, more money, more long-term gain. No, that's like being like, here, let me just kick you in the ass and you're gonna get eaten up by wolves. Figure it out. You might go in debt. You might lose your current clients. You might fuck it up. Like, I mean, there's like, oh my God, there's like so many things that could go wrong. So many things.
Yeah. Not only, like what you're saying, not only that, it's like, still to this day, I'm, close. I'm getting closer to that 10-year mark of doing this. And I'm still would be scared shitless to be on my own. And I feel pretty confident, day to day with my clients. But there's always a time where I'm like, I know that, like, my coworker is really good at this, and there's a situation where I'm stuck on, and I feel comfortable because I can go grab them, and I have other artists in my shop that I know can help me out. Yeah. And that's like almost 10 years into this, and I know that you've been doing this even longer than me, and you still feel the same way.
Well, do you want to know what's crazy? I'm about to preach all this. I feel like all the things that I want to, like, preach and I'm so passionate about is because I had to do it.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
like, me being new, I was like, oh, I'm supposed to do an apprenticeship. So I come out of school. I do 2 apprenticeships, actually. And all of a sudden, the second salon that I was telling you about in my first video fired me. Well, where did I go? I was like, oh, my tattoo artist's girlfriend has a salon. I'm gonna go, like, interview. Yeah. So I get her portfolio ready, I get my resume, all the shit that I want to, like, get this position at a salon. And she's like, well, we're booth rent. I'd never been on the floor at my last salons. I took all my friends and my family and stuff, but I wasn't getting any clients besides the one I was fixing for the people that own the shop, and the few that I had gotten, like, kind of being on the floor, kind of not. Like, everybody was busy, so they gave me a few clients type of thing. And I'm like, she, like, shows me the lease, and she's like, here's the lease. It's $600 a month. You get this little tiny room, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden it hits me, and I was like, oh, this is not a commission space. Like, she wants me to do everything myself. Like, now I have to get furniture. I have to get a room ready. I have to get a website, a book, like all the stuff that comes with it. And I had to do myself. I didn't even know what a write-off was. I didn't know how I was going to do my taxes. I didn't know if I needed an accountant. Like, I needed a color line, a styling line, or a product line. Like, I was like, oh shit, I'm going to have to like do all this myself. And the only way I made it, because you're not going to get this at a Sola, you're not going to get this at a Phoenix, nothing, is because she literally was like, I'll help you every single step of the way, and I will literally like put your rent. So like for the first month you'll give me 100, the second month you'll give me 300, 400, 600, but you're not going to get that at a Phoenix suite. Mind you, I also had worked like 3 jobs like at the same time during school.
Yeah.
I was a server for 7 years, and I don't know if you've ever been a server, but in the server communities and bartenders, you're really tight and you just make friends and everybody knows each other. And that was the only way I even survived, is because I had her literally baby stepping it for me, which she didn't have to do because she's technically a landlord. She doesn't owe me shit.
No.
She just saw my potential and was a nice person and was like, okay, I'll help you get to this point. And then like my close-knit serving people, or people that I grew up with, or people that like I had just been marketing the shit out of myself like before I even started. So it's like, if I didn't have those 2 things, I would have failed immediately.
Absolutely. And I did. Like, if we go back to my steps, like in my past, is I've been doing this almost 10 years and literally like went through, I think I was telling a student today that stopped by to hang out. I think I was saying like I've been to 10 salons longer than I've been working. I've been in shops.
That's the most insane thing.
More shops than years I've been working. That's insane.
I mean,
This is the longest, my barber shop that we're sitting in right now is the longest shop I've ever worked at. And we hit our 2-year mark. That's
crazy.
insane. And a lot of people would say like, oh, there's something wrong with her. Like, oh, she doesn't know how to work with others.
Girl, I told you that I had owned that place, that girl. I was there for 6 years. And when I came here to Chattanooga, I went to, from October to September. I started in September of 2020. From September 2020 to March 2021, I went to 5 places, and then I got my key to my shop. Yeah, what the fuck? And before this, I was a fucking salon owner. And I was at the same place doing booth rent for 6 years. The only place I ever worked.
So,
mind-blowing.
yeah, it's mind-blowing. So when I say this, I think we're all in the same headspace of like,
Guidance. I wish I would have had guidance.
Guidance. And I think our guidance is be mindful and be realistic, but also like it's okay to be a dreamer, but be realistic of like you have to put your name out there. Like if you don't put your name out there, nobody knows who you are. And that was one of the mistakes I did, is I was in an abusive relationship. I wasn't going out. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't really on social media. I wasn't confident. I wasn't going up to people and say, hey, I do hair. So who's going to find me? If you don't do that, no one else is going to do that for you.
Nope.
Finances, like too. It's like a lot of people like color. Like if you're a hairstylist, it takes a lot longer to build as a hairstylist than it does a barber. Because you don't go get your hair colored every 2 weeks unless you're gray. And that's what, maybe every 3 weeks?
Yeah.
And then if you're a barber, it's every 2 weeks, but you got to make sure that you're keeping that client.
Yep.
So I think hourly is not the way to go, because you're only getting $15 an hour at most. And you looked it up because I said before this interview, let's see how many like haircuts, great clips or sports clips or whatever the hell it is like the norm, like a busy week, I guess.
Yep.
At their establishment would be, and what was it?
It said they averaged 150 to 200 haircuts a week.
That's what I hit like what, maybe like 120 a month or
Literally
less.
120. I try to do like between 115 and like 130 a month.
That's insane. I like 8.
And nothing's wrong with that.
Yeah, I like 8. It's hard on your body, but
Oh my god.
you were like also you were saying you had a friend that was managing one, and what were they required to do?
So in these like franchises that do these hourly rates, she said that they were required to do 15-minute increment haircuts, and if they weren't doing them in those 15 allotted minutes, then they were getting written up. And if they, like, I think it was like 3 write-ups, and then they got fired. 15 minutes for a haircut.
So literally, you have to start cutting before you even ask them what they want.
There's no asking. Why do you think people walk out with buzz cuts?
You want?
That's all you're getting. Your ass is getting a 2 all over. Bye. Give me my $15.
You want 1, 2. You get option 1, 2, 3, or 4.
No, you get a 1 all over. You get a 2 all over. You get a 3 all over, or a 4 all over.
No.
Anything else?
No, they'll fucking
No.
put an 8 on your head too. They'll be like, "You want an 8 all over?"
I said a 9.75. No, seriously, it's like a buzz or nothing. Like, okay, I mean, hey, nothing's wrong with a buzz. Go ahead. But like, here in this town, everybody wants a hard part and a bald fade and this and that, and they wonder why they're not getting the results, because you went to a place where this poor girl who's been a hair slave all day, done 30 haircuts before you, and you want a bald fade with a hard part.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking right.
And she probably smells like cigarettes.
No.
I shouldn't be saying this, but literally, like, I worked. So when I was in hair school,
Oh my god.
I worked. Okay, so they needed someone to work the front desk, and I was in hair school. And literally, I walked in, all these bitches were just miserable. Like,
Well, yeah, if you're doing 200
Miserable.
haircuts a week,
as they should be.
Oh,
So
I'd be
when I say
pissed.
that, and I say the word bitches, I call it like just female bitches in general. No disrespect, but like literally, they were so miserable. And
oh,
I would
I
have
would
to
be too.
go to the back break room to tell them that they had a haircut, because we had to go down this list.
and they burst into flames and
And
die.
I would get like so much backlash, or they'd be like, or I couldn't find them because they were on a smoke break. Why?
I was like, wait, who's on a smoke break right now?
Legally, why America allows people to take a smoke break, and if you don't smoke, you don't get a break, and that's what happened to the stylist that didn't smoke.
I'd
So
be
then-
just like fake smoking then.
Yeah, the stylist that didn't smoke hated me because I was required to not get those people that were smoking. I had to get the people that were just sitting in the back.
Oh,
And these are people that were smoking on the clock.
I'd chain smoke too. I'd literally
Yes.
smoke a whole pack in between a client.
And so
if I was doing 200 haircuts.
I agree with them, and I talked to them, and I said, "Why are you here?" And they're like, "Well, I have no clients." And one of the girls looked at me, and she said, "Do you love to do color?" And I was like, "Yeah, I love to do color." And she looked at me, and she says, "This is not your place. What are you doing here?" She said, "Get the fuck out."
Yeah. So basically,
Yeah.
like, I feel like. So, okay, what are the pros and cons then of working for an hourly? Let's talk about that really quick. What are your pros and cons?
My pros would be is that so what Great Clips was intended to be, and what Sports Clips they say they're intended to be. And I think Sports Clips is a little bit better than Great Clips when it comes down to like how they treat their employees.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that really love working at Sports Clips, but there's very few that love working at Great Clips.
Yeah. I think it's
And
completely different.
Let me make this clear. If there's some of you that do work at Great Clips, please like understand that I don't think that you're any less than me. I'm more angry that you guys are not paid more.
Yeah.
Because you deserve that. And you can do good quality haircuts, but you can't take it to the level that most people are taking it because you're only given a certain amount of time.
No.
I cannot do what you guys do, even what you do in those 15 minutes because I just
that
don't
takes a
want
skill.
to. I can't and I don't want to.
I cannot do it. Like, I need 30 solid minutes to do a haircut from start to finish, like full detail. Like, I cannot.
So,
no.
Yeah, so when we're laughing, it's not directed at anyone that works at those establishments. Y'all are making a living, you're trying, and you're doing your best. It's more of laughing because we think it's absolutely ridiculous that that is what is expected out of you, and we want more for you. So let me just make that clear when we're doing that. It's not to make fun of you guys because you are hard workers. And holy cow, if you do 200 haircuts in a week, you are Superwoman or Superman.
Never.
So I applaud you for doing that, and I applaud you for staying sane, but you deserve more. Absolutely more.
Better.
And going back to commission, you also have to be careful with commission. And with commission, if you're not paid hourly...
Wait, go back to your pros and cons.
Just
bullet point your pros and cons really quick.
Oh, absolutely.
Of hourly. So what are your pros and what are your cons?
Okay, so if you're paid hourly, then
you're guaranteed
that money, but you're stuck
within
that rate.
Yeah, within that rate of money.
So if you get 30 hours,
no matter if you
I know $14 an hour is around like what, $3.75? It's somewhere in there. And then on top of that, taxes are taken out.
Yeah.
And that's just a 30-hour work week.
Yeah. So basically, you get $15 an hour whether you do 50 haircuts or you do 3,725.
Yeah. And I guess their argument is like you get tips.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
But
that adds up.
The people that are going there are probably only tipping $5 or less.
Yeah. So you don't get. You're just really. You're guaranteeing yourself an income, but you're also really limiting your income.
That's 40 haircuts a day.
Yeah. So you get the income, but it's not going to be great. But you also get benefits. They could laugh at us right now because we don't get benefits. Please tell me what your deductible is. Like $6,000? It's probably really shitty insurance. No, I've heard it's pretty good. I've heard they're trained, like they do a ton of training, and I've heard it's like. But what is left in your check? You still gotta pay for it. What's left in your check? Yeah, you're still having to pay for it. Like even like where my husband works, he works for a great company, and they have really great insurance. But for the three of us, my husband, my son, and us, it's still a lot of money, and we make pretty good money. So you can't tell me they're doing great. The other thing that I really like, it's such a conflicting thing, but they say oh, come out of school and you'll be fed clients right away. You get this clientele and you can build right then. And it's will you get the clientele? You will get clients. But what happens when you grow and you want to charge those clients more? Well, we all know that within every price range, a lot of clients don't want to come out of this price range. You have clients that'll pay and think that every haircut should be $10, and then you have clients that will pay $100 for a haircut. It's just finding the clients. So when you seek a place that only serves the $15 clientele, it's going to be really difficult for you to leave that place, go to your own shop, eventually, once you build up these clients and you've been there for a while and you're like, you know what, I do want to take the risk and I do want to go out on my own, they're probably not going to stay with you. You're going to start over because you're going to say, well, I've gained all this knowledge. I've gained all these skills. I can bust out a fucking haircut in 15 minutes and I deserve, a huge pay raise. Give yourself a pay raise. Well, that clientele is not going to be able to withhold that pay raise.
Yeah.
So you're going to lose a lot of people.
And what gets me too is like when you say, I'm going to feed you clients. First of all, stylists have got to stop thinking that they can just tell their clients where they're going to go and where they're going to sit. Because I'm going to tell you something, if I'm paying the same price and I booked an appointment with you to do like blonding on my hair, and she magically, without telling me, just puts me with little Susie, and little Susie may be great, but I picked you. I booked the appointment with you. And if that continues to go that way, then I'll just go somewhere else. So you cannot guarantee feeding someone clients.
You can never guarantee it.
No, because clients have the right to go where they want. You don't own them. No.
Yeah, so I think, yes, an hourly. Oh, here's the other thing that I really do not. This is probably my biggest thing about hourly that I do not like for students coming out of cosmetology school is if you. It's like, it's so hard to explain this without like sounding bad. But if you're a brand new student, you are going to soak up and mold to whatever the first thing is in your career that you go to. Like, wouldn't you say that a lot of your skills are learned in the first like year and a half, and that's what you stick with as your base. At least that's what I've always been. So if you're going to these places and they're saying, hey, we want 15-minute cuts, you're gonna cut corners and you're gonna, I think, you're gonna pick up really, really bad habits that are gonna be super difficult to break when you go to learn better skills and do better haircuts. Because let's be honest, if I'm doing a haircut in 15 minutes, I'm not gonna be tapering it. I'm not gonna be detailing it. I sure as hell am not gonna be texturizing it. So you're cutting all these huge corners that take a client's haircut from like meh to like amazing. Like just that entire cut is, there's no way to make it 100% like, there's just no way.
Yeah.
Like you have to cut corners. And I feel like as a student coming fresh out of school, you don't want to be put in this box and those perimeters of making these bad habits. You want all the free time to fuck it up and learn and grow and really like fine tune your detailing and fine tune these little things that make a haircut so like, well, make a $100 haircut or make a $15 haircut.
Definitely. So like the difference between $100 haircut and a $17 haircut. And it's definitely time, detail, consistency.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say quality versus quantity is definitely what you have to decide when you're going into this career. So we really touched base on like the hourly. I feel like we didn't really get to touch base on commission yet. I think we ran. It's so crazy how fast these like videos go and the time go. So I really want to do a part 2 and go over commission with Ashleigh and us talk about that, because Ashleigh has some really good points, and I feel like I can add to that too, because I've been to a lot of commission salons. I haven't been to that many booth rental salons. So stay tuned for part 2, and thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, please like, subscribe, and share Thank you again for watching and taking the time. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.